knowing that Carter suffers from autism and the effects of autism, we felt like there was some sort of peace in being able to know that there might be some type of solution.
Yeah, hope.
Hope.
Like
right.
There's something we could do here that might help Carter.
My name is Jake.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is our Wellness Way story. About a year and a half ago, we were faced with a challenge with our son, who's 10 years old. Carter has Down syndrome and autism, and we were at a place in life where Carter, his health was awful. Mm-hmm. Nights were super hard because Carter would go to bed and would break out in hives and itch incessantly, and there were nights where it was 1 or 2 in the morning before he was so exhausted that he had to fall asleep without any choice. So we started seeking help from our doctors, and the only help that they could give us was continual testing and finding out that he had strep throat, a constant prescription of antibiotics that set him back, and we saw the effects of the antibiotics setting him back. And even to the point where the final straw for us was when they prescribed Carter to take bleach baths, to add a half a cup of just household bleach to a bath, and bathe him and try to kill whatever it was that was affecting his body. Little did we know that it wasn't anything to do with a strep throat infection or anything like that. That it was so much more than that. So really, you took up the baton to research other options.
I think as a mom, I knew that something else was going on. I think all moms just have that instinct within them to say, this is not right, this is not my kid, there's something else. I knew it wasn't his skin. I knew it was something inside of him. And when I brought that up to our doctor, she was very negative about the whole thought that this could be his gut or this could be something else going on. And I finally felt like I got up the gumption to say, we need to do something else. We need to find something else, because our son is suffering. We are suffering as a result.
And the hard thing is, he didn't have the ability to communicate with us.
Right.
With real words to tell us what was going on, and it just made it so frustrating.
Right.
So one of our biggest regrets with Carter's health is probably that we waited too long. But we came in touch with the Wellness Way through a friend who made a recommendation, and we made an appointment to come up and to see Dr. Zach at the Wellness Way. And one of the most settling things for us is when we pulled up in the parking lot on the front of the building, one of the words that we saw was autism. And knowing that Carter suffers from autism and the effects of autism, we felt like there was some sort of peace in being able to know that there might be some type of solution.
Yeah, hope.
Hope.
Like
right.
There's something we could do here that might help Carter. And I would say that has been an understatement. I would say that Carter's life has changed drastically. One of my biggest fears was having to take away all of his favorite foods,
Right.
the crackers, the yogurt, and
Ice cream.
Rice. Rice was his favorite food. And just now looking back, it's laughable that was such a scary thing for me, because it has been so easy, so much easier than I ever thought it would be, to the point that now if we're at a birthday party and there's like a birthday cake, Carter will stop before he eats it and he will say, tummy ache? And if we say, yes, this will give you a tummy ache, he leaves it alone, because he remembers what it
Right.
felt like to
Right.
have that constant tummy ache, and he couldn't even tell us.
Yeah.
So his life has changed. We since then have come into the Wellness Way and gotten our own food test done. We finally realized that this is not just for Carter, or this is not just for people who feel like they are very sick, but we thought that we were healthy at the time.
Right.
And this has changed our lives. We have changed our eating. We've just all around embraced just this new lifestyle. And I think it really is more than just what we eat. This has been a lifestyle change for us. And I was somebody who loved nothing more than to eat Cheetos and drink Coke, and I never would have thought that I was going to be somebody who would have this healthy lifestyle. It's just completely changed our lives.
Yeah, and I think watching Carter and seeing the effects with Carter and seeing the changes in his life and his health and his ability to sleep through the night, it was such a burden that was lifted from us. And then we really started to look at our own health, and never really considering that I was unhealthy. But what I realized about a year ago is that I was dealing with my own crisis, that I didn't even know that was going on. I was dealing with some neck pain, and I went into a chiropractor that checked my blood pressure and told me that I had super high blood pressure. I had no idea. It had been so long since I'd been to the doctor for a physical, but I knew at that point that I had to do something, and really the Wellness Way was the only approach that was for me to be able to help me. A year ago I was 75 pounds heavier than I am now. I feel so much better than I do now. I would say even with Carter, with the regret of not doing something sooner, that's my regret, is not doing something sooner. But knowing now that the Wellness Way has things that are able to help people, because they understand, and that's one of the things we found from Dr. Zach, is the ability for him to help us understand why it is that we're taking the supplements that we're taking, eating the foods that we're eating, and really understanding our bodies better and how they're able to help change, to the point now where we're working on being able to wean off of my blood pressure medication, which I never thought was ever going to be possible. My doctor said that this is something you'd have to take for the rest of your life. And I know that that's not the case. We come in contact with so many people every single day that question us. They know, they see us, they haven't seen us in a while, and they know how unhealthy we were. They see the outward effect of weight loss, and they start to ask, what is it that you're doing differently? And we're able to talk about the Wellness Way, and we're able to talk about the things that we learned over the last year and a half about our bodies and about wellness and how to eat well. And it's so much more than just eating well, but we have this ability to be able to explain for them that there is a different option. And what's cool is that we've seen these people in our lives actually believe us and take a next step and actually schedule appointments for themselves and overcome that fear. And one of the biggest things that we get from people is, how much is it and how expensive is it? And one of the things that I've learned, because it's something that I had to go through, is that I looked at it as an expense. But what I do now is I look at what I do with the Wellness Way as an investment into my life and into my family's life. And when I'm able to help people understand the investment that they can make in their own lives, it really helps them shift their thinking and be able to think differently. And we've seen so many people, family and friends, that have made a decision to do something different, to change their thinking, and they're so excited about what they're seeing in their own life right now, the changes that they're seeing and how much better they feel, and knowing that it's not easy. It's not something that's an easy thing to do, but anything that's easy isn't probably worth doing. But anything that's hard, that's something that we've learned. Anything that's hard is always worth pushing into and doing, because there's such a long-term benefit.